get into the introduction of myself later on, because that is going to be my preface to my presentation, okay? Let me take a quick poll here. How many of you have engineering degrees? Okay. Make sure that you raise your hands. Number two, how about these kids? Hold on, have you guys got a degree yet? Okay, what? That's good. Are they in college yet? Okay, what are you guys studying? Thank you. How about you? Finance. Great. Finance. Chemistry, okay, a little bit closer to the traditional engineering. How about you? Economics, okay. I'll get back to that. As Jimmy said, I've been involved in the Chinese American communities forever. With that said, before I prepared my speech, I was expecting this mix of audience. And for your information, 60% of them are the board of directors of this organization. They have to be here. Another 35% are the advisors. And 5%, including my wife and Professor Zhang, that he was my classmate in Taiwan, and he's the professor, whoever is trying to get into business, is a very famous professor at the business school, University of Georgia. Okay, so that's a mix. With one mix, I was not expecting you with your background to be here. But anyway, with that said, who knows my background? Professional background? No, you don't come. Steve. Steven. What is my background?
Engineers, University of Taiwan and Virginia.
No, that's my academic background, okay? As a matter of fact, I will be very much surprised that, with the exception of possibly my wife, knows what my real background is. Okay, you're right. Academically, I graduated from National Taiwan University with electrical engineering degree. And then I came to the States, UVA, University of Virginia, again with an electrical engineering degree, majored in telecommunications. Okay, don't jump to the conclusion, this is why I'm selling cell phone. All right. With that said, my first job in the United States was working for the state government of North Carolina as a telephone engineer with the Public Utilities Commission. That is not very technical, but I can tell you that put me on the right path for what I've been doing for the rest of my life, career life so far. First things first, my job there was to evaluate the quality of service provided by the telephone companies such as Bell South back then. In order for me to do that, I had to collect all kinds of technical data, any kind of business data, and present it to the commissioner as the so-called expert witness. Imagine I came from Taiwan, right? Not like the ABCs here, including Alex Wang, and the judge Wang McMillian that you guys are going to meet tonight. They are ABC, their English is good. They understand the culture. Okay, understanding, even though I graduated from National Taiwan University, it is not liberal arts, it is engineering. How many English words are in there? Other than formulas. Okay, so on top of it, working for the state government, especially not in the state of California, but in the state of North Carolina, we have to meet people from all walks of life. Literally from all walks of life. Folks, I call it accent. They said, Hugh, we don't have accents. You have accents. All right? On top of it, when we meet, having a meeting with the executives from the utilities, like folks working for the telephone company, by law, we are not supposed to to ask any question or have any conversation with anybody less than a director position. If we do that, we cannot coach the poor guy. Okay, so it's from all walks of life. With that said, we have to come up with public hearing. Like I said, North Carolina, try to go to some interesting places. Let me give you one interesting example. Rocky Mountain. Don't look at me. Look at the Caucasians. If your great-grandparents were not born there, you are an outsider. They don't talk to you, okay? So public hearing, I have to be able to listen. I cannot say, could you repeat, what did you say? What were you complaining about? What were you bitching about? I can't, okay? So I have to very quickly learn to listen without asking questions. I have to very quickly learn how to speak good enough for the commissioners or all the lawyers that want to tear me to pieces. I need to do that. Guess what I did? NC State University, they are going to have a major China night. Over 1,000 folks are going to attend. The mayor of Raleigh is going to attend. They thought I was doing well because I was working for the state government, right? These are the students, the graduate students. They said, can you help us come and become the MC? Now you understand why I've been doing MC with my background. Engineering, MC, it doesn't go hand in hand. The reason, like I said, I took that challenge, and for your information, I lost sleep for 2 whole weeks, scaring to death. It's over 1,000 people there, okay? It's all in English. I took the challenge, and since then, I felt much better, okay? So number one, English is going to be very critical for you. All right, with that said, just in case that I run out of time, okay, let's get into my specific presentation. Oh, another thing is, for example, like Dr. Chong Bin is an example. He's an executive working for a major tire manufacturing company here. He's sitting here. Xu Kai, he's the founder of Hot Sauce, sitting over there. Joe Chen, run a very big computer distributor. Like I said, my buddy there, Professor Chen. And on top of it, guess what? There was a senior vice president working for a publicly owned company sitting there. She's my wife. My target market is not for these guys. Here is why. My wife, she was senior vice president. Guess who the chairman is? My brother-in-law. Okay, not that I'm not trying to give her credit, but that's a totally different environment. Another person. Okay, I'm not going to harass one of you kids. Your parents own a major corporation. Your mom wants you to be here because you have to move up very quickly. Okay, so you don't have that kind of an advantage. With that said, my focal point is going to be for the Chinese Americans specifically, how to move up in the corporate world. With that said, you might say, I've already arrived. That's okay. Another thing is, you might say, look at yourself. It's too late for us to move up. No. I have 2 purposes for you guys to bring home. Number one, I want you to prevent headwind for yourself if you're still employed. You have heard about that old saying, late 40s, early 50s, gone. Why? Okay, number 2, those, not you guys, parents, I want you to give it some thought when you try to ask your kids to go get A+, be careful, okay? Be careful. For the kids, I want you guys to have a head start. Look for the tailwind. If you can learn whatever all the speakers have been talking about here today, jump. Okay, I don't want you guys to have to spend so many times making so many mistakes that we have already done. We have paid our due. We want you to be able to reap benefits out of it. with that said, number one, where are we today? If we are already there, if we have already arrived, what is the point of listening to the rest of my presentation? So first, let's take a look at where we are today, collectively, not individually, okay? Glass ceiling. Where are you today? You think you are at the top, you are an executive vice president, you have not been able to move up to the CEO level? Look at yourself. My feeling is we are still down there. The problem is with the sticking floor. We have not been moving up, okay? Sticking floor could still be a lesser problem of glass ceiling. Let's ignore that for one moment. Just like you got stuck in the mud. If you have got momentum, that kind of a minor glass ceiling or sticking floor, you will be able to accomplish and move over. Upward mobility. Let's take a look at where we are today. We have been told repeatedly, we are model minority. What does that mean? They are saying minor minority means your salary, Asian American salary, is even higher than that of the white Americans. Folks, excuse my French. BS. Anyway, let's look at the first one. New York City, a lot of large law firms. A lot of the lawyers are Asian Americans. But go check out the partners. How many of them are there? Okay, one area. You are saying, hey, we are smart engineers. We should be able to move further up. Take a look at Silicon Valley. Oh, by the way, if you say you're making much more than I do, I have no problem. And you're not hurting me. I'm not talking about you versus me. I'm talking about you versus the folks that have got similar experience with you, and why are they moving up and why are we not moving up? Talking about governmental stuff. 5.6% of US population, only 14 of the 810 Article 3 federal judges are Asian Americans. Don't ask me what Article 3 federal judges are. Okay. How about pay? You said, listen, I'm making a lot of money here. Okay, don't get caught on the specific dollar amount there. Let's take a look at it. Model minority, we're being told, okay, Asian American 59,000, that's a few years back, okay? White 48. Look at it. It's family income. There may be two persons at most. How about Asian American families, especially the first generation immigrants? There may be 5 or 6 individuals there that is at the age of, I believe, 18 and above. It's all counted into the family income. Break down. Hold on. Asian American, up there, right? I'm sorry. Personal income, look at it. Asian American, all of a sudden, we are not at the top anymore. Further breaking down. 26,000 Japanese, Indian. Chinese American, where are we? It's complicated, okay? Any data you want to analyze it, if you're interested in it, I can get into it. Let's take it offline. Oh, by the way, trust me, I have been as honest as I could. I will never manipulate any data just because I want to share this message with you. Glass ceiling or sticking floor? Let's talk about sticking floor first. Glass ceiling, it is not something that you individual can break. And this is why I have always been supportive of, well, I'm very narrow-minded. Alex, don't kill me, okay? Alex Wu is very broad-minded. I support only Chinese American candidates. All right. First, we have already established, just bear with me for one moment, where we are today. In other words, there are rooms for us to make improvement. Now, let's take a look at what we need to do, okay? Who am I? who are these guys? Mainstream. Asian American, hardworking. Nobody's going to argue with that. How about kind of like reserved? Again, look at it from the entire population rather than you individually. High achieving in math and science. Passive. Not enthusiastic enough. Not confrontational. Well, negatively speaking, you are afraid of confrontation. Submissive. 我们总是敬老尊贤 ，OK? Loner. Self-effacing. Let me give you an example. The very first year that I came to the States, my professor was saying, "Hugh, how are you this morning?" I said, "I'm okay." He looked at me, he says, "Are you sick?" I said, "No." "Then why did you say it's okay?" I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Hugh, in this country, when somebody asks you something, they are not really interested in your health." Okay, what are you supposed to say? Fine, great, never be better, even though you're dying. Okay? So, okay, how about Chinese American? Let's say you got first. Well, I just got lucky. What do you mean you got lucky? You have been working on it for the rest of your life. That's self-effacing. What's wrong with it? There is nothing wrong with it. Keep one thing in mind, whatever we have, there is nothing wrong with it. We just need to enhance what we have, improve on what we don't have. American attributes, very quickly, willing to take charge, a little bit more enthusiastic. That's leadership, friendly, a little bit more, well, outgoing. Creativity, risk-taking, can-do attitude. Just like Ed was saying, I need someone to volunteer. How often do we get a volunteer from us? Okay, I need someone to go get a resolution with another department. Who is willing to go? We sit there, we do not even bother asking questions. As a matter of fact, we pretend that we are reading our notes, just in case that we have got eye contact and we got a job. Responsible. Okay, let's be careful with that one. You might say, "Hugh, we are all Chinese American, we understand the word." A lot of the times, let me give you one example. I have a little corner office. Oh, by the way, I've been working on the national accounts marketing side since 1985. National accounts marketing, you know, is a very demanding department. Most of the folks, almost at any corporation, they'll call us prima donna. Anyway, the very first time I came to Sprint, I got a corner office. Okay, I got a little bit heat from the rest of the folks. Oh, not a big corner office, okay? I was sitting in my office one morning. My president rushed in. Okay, those of you who want to know that he's pretty famous. Okay, he became the chairman of AT&T, and currently he's still the chairman of CBS. Okay, in my opinion, it's stepping down, maybe because of his age. He rushed into my office with his face red, very angry. Keep in mind, he was the president of National Accounts. He said, "Hugh, did you write this memo?" We're talking about responsibility, okay? For me, even if this is going to cost me my job, if I did it, guess what? I'll say yes. I said, "Sir, let me take a look at it." I look at it, I don't have to read the content of my memo, right? I said, "Yes, sir, I did." Do you know what he did? He said, "I knew." And then he sat down and started smiling. He said, "Hugh, okay, this got me into a serious confrontation with all my sales managers, including the executive vice president. They said because of your memo, they could not meet the sales revenue. Because you sent it out and says, we could not deliver this service." I said, "Sir, that is the truth. Okay, you don't want it, you go sell, you still die." He says, "Hugh, that's why I hired you. This is why I'm emphasizing, don't be afraid. Okay, don't make stupid mistakes. But if it is your responsibility, you do it, you take it up." Positive, outgoing, energetic, good communicator, be careful with that word. Enthusiasm, optimistic, fair. All right, let's compare the two. Hardworking, like I said, don't change your hardworking habit. Okay, just try to adapt to the new environment a little bit differently. You're too focal. You've got tunnel vision. Let me give you an example. Let's say the company says we are going to have a Christmas party. And let me tell you how important it is. Way back when Sprint says Christmas party, it is very luxurious. Not like these days. Do you know what my boss says? I understand your wife's company is going to have a Christmas party, and I understand you have to be there. But you make sure that you show up, and make sure that you walk in front of the president, the chairman that came from Kansas City. Make sure that they see you. It is this important, trust me. One of these days, if you want, I'll get into some specifics. Getting back to that Christmas party stuff, I said, let's have a Christmas party. We are saying, no, I have a deadline to meet. I have to go back and get it done. No, you have to get it done later on, but you still have to participate. If you don't participate, who are you reporting to? You're reporting to a manager. Are you going to get a promotion? How about the director? How about the vice president? How about all these big guys? You are going to get stuck here. You have to get the visibility. High achieving in math and science. Immediately, with the exception of the ABC, okay, like I said, you guys do not have language problem. We do. They are saying, oh, you're good at math, you're good at science, you guys have got an advanced degree in engineering, but I need someone to make a major presentation. With your accent, with your problem in understanding English, I may have to get someone else to go out there. First time, second time, 3 times we are out. You are going to get stick at the bottom of the floor. Non-confrontational, okay? Your job depends on someone else, some other department to give you the result. For some reason, they did not pass it on to you on time. Whose responsibility it is? It is yours. You go to your boss and says, boss, the reason that I cannot turn it in today is they did not turn it in. You are out. You will never be able to get promoted. Why? Number one, why didn't you raise the issue with me earlier? Better yet, it's your job to go keep an eye on it. Okay. Getting back to that confrontation, you say, Gary, I don't know. I'm getting back home, you complain to your wife. What's the use? You are supposed to confront the problem professionally. Let me give you one quick example. Come up with a memo saying, Timmy, you are supposed to give me the results on a certain date. It's rapidly approaching, and I just want to make sure that we don't miss it. What's wrong with it? Moreover, you have to make sure that you CC his boss and your boss. Okay, so that's one way. Confrontation, like I said, sometimes we get upset because we have a pent-up emotion. It's too late. That's not what we want to see. Loner. Okay, you stick together. No, you have to mingle. Self-effacing. Self-effacing. Can you get this done on time? It's a big project. Use my example once. The president says, we have to get this done. I said, sir, if there is a live person that can get it done for you, I will get it done for you. But there is a chance that even Superman cannot get it done. Like I said, the establishment of trust the trust has been established with my big boss, okay? So he says, Hugh, just do the best you can, okay? All right, so where are we? We are not as successful as we thought we were. So where do we want to be? Move up the corporate ladder. Career more rewarding, trust me. It's much more rewarding. Life more satisfactory. With that said, like I said, this reminds me of people talking about stocks. What is the basic principle of buying stocks? Buy low, sell high. I know that, but tell me how. Okay, talking about upward mobility, we talk about leadership. That's easy to say. Tell me how. Okay, who the heck do you think I am? Well, fortunately, I'm good, so I can BS a little bit here. Okay, so just bear with me. Number one, improve your English, both written and spoken. You need to come up with a major proposal. Oh, also, I'll get to the other point. Number two, communication skills. English, Jimmy and I had a lengthy conversation on it. He says, Hugh, are you sure English is number one? I said, English is not that important, but it is a tool. If you don't even have the tool, it's like playing basketball. Is basketball that important? But if I don't have a basketball, how am I going to play? Okay, so English is very basic. It has to be good. Well, it has to be good enough. Communication skills is where the catch comes in. Attentive. Listen very carefully, okay? Read between lines. What are these guys talking about? Number two, don't ever approach the problem negatively. Use positive words, okay? Cultural differences. Again, this is something we need to improve on. Self-promote. One way is participate in meetings whenever you can. Once you get into the meeting, you don't raise questions. You don't make any statement. Nobody knows your existence. Oh, there's a good engineer. Leave him alone. How are you going to move on? Friendly. For your information, if you can do it, trust me, you can do it. Believe it or not, I'm not an outgoing person. Believe it or not, I'm not a friendly person. And this is why I've been very nice to my wife. She has to take all that. I mean it. Because when I joined Sprint, I have to go through, anybody who joins national accounts, we have to go through corporate psychological analysis. Almost 5 hours. Do you know what kind of questions they ask you? What does your mom do? Anybody who knows human resources rules, you know that is a subject you don't ask. All kinds of off-limit questions are being asked. And you have made it very clear, you don't have to answer. But you don't have to answer, automatically you are disqualified. Okay? You don't sue us because we are going to deny. So, I was saying if I can do it, you guys can do it. My point is, it does not come easy for me. You have to work on it. You have to work on it. Take a look at it. These days, whenever I go, if I go, I don't want to waste my time. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to make a statement. Another side benefit is, okay, let's say my vice president is sitting there. I'm having a meeting, okay? He's my, let's say, big boss. You are from another department. You raise questions. Listen, the guy is watching. This is how I got from Public Utilities Commission, the state government job, into MCI. Because I was making all kinds of excuses against the utilities company as an expert witness, right? They saw my name associated with that on the engineering front. That's the digital services back then. That's the T1, S3, etc., etc. That's how I got into that. Okay. When we had an interdepartmental, I was working on the engineering side, right? We had a meeting with marketing. Again, as usual, I was too talkative. Guess what happened? Senior Vice President, National Accounts Marketing says, Hugh, can you drop into my office? He owns 5% of MTN. Nobody says no to him. I drop by. Do you know what he says? Hugh, I'm going to make you an offer that you cannot refuse. Okay, that's how I got into it. And then I was working there, Sprint president got in touch with me. So you see, you have to self-promote. You cannot say, hey, I'm good. Let people see you. At least let them see you. Okay, they might not have a chance to find a better person. Oh, that guy seems to know digital. At least his resume says digital. Maybe it's a digital music. Who cares? Right? At least it's digital. All right. So another step, okay? I just want you to have some idea. The rest, you have to work on it. Piggyback on what he was suggesting. Maze Bright. Maze Bright, you guys know what it really means. Plain old English. Maze Bright means street smart. But street smart is for the, more like the uneducated one. Maze smart, or Maze Bright, from my perspective, it is street smart in the corporate world. Hold on. Only, now let's get into glass ceiling. It is going to be there. Okay, a benign one, a dirty one is going to be there. But you are not going to be able to resolve it by yourself. So to break up the glass ceiling requires collective efforts from both the private and the public sector. And this is why, trust me, personally, I'm not going to gain anything from supporting those candidates. Like Ethics One, like Judge Ron McMillan, later on they're going to meet her. We have to get out of the sticking floor first. Only after a lot of us become successful in our respective fields will we have a better chance to break the glass ceiling. Obviously, that's a little my fully shown skills. While you are working on your own success, please also get involved in the public affairs, especially when you get a chance to support our Chinese American candidates for any public position. Please do so. Food for thought. 小时候的《西游记》，尤其男生，我们的英雄是谁？孙悟空。Is he a decision maker? No. Okay. So we need to expand, broaden our environment. Engineers, take a look at it. Most of these young kids, I'm glad that they are not engineers anymore. Oh, well, not engineers anymore. Nothing wrong with engineers. Go take a look at about 30% of the CEOs, undergraduate engineers. But they moved on to some other areas. Most of them do have an MBA degree. This is why Professor Chen has become so successful. Everybody wants to get into his department. Enhance your corporate common sense. Learn as much as you can. Let me give you one example. Ed was trying to loosen his tie. Working for national accounts marketing, even on weekend when we fly out, I could take off my tie at that moment, but we still have to have our suit on. Another example. Who knows that if you move up with some major corporations, not everybody, and I don't want to mention the names, do you know when you get promoted and move into corporate for those corporations? You are not supposed to drive foreign cars anymore. No Mercedes-Benz, no BMW. You have to get Cadillac or Lincoln. Your wife, you can get away with it. Okay, so you see, you have to understand all that. Oh, by the way, you have to be pretty high. Dressed up. Dressed up does not mean but at least you have to look professional. You don't know who is going to watch you and when. Meet people, like meetings, etc., etc. Okay, whenever you get a chance to go out and meet people, more rounded experience, expand your horizon. We need to work not only on 4 years of college, but 4 years of workplace. Okay, this is fundamentally more for the parents here. 我们一直叫他好好的念书。4 years of college, A+. The very first job, who cares? Have you helped them prepare for the next 40 years at the workplace? Thank you very much.